Hi, and welcome to part 5 of New Jeweler Training. Remember to print out the follow-along sheet and fill that out because we will need all of them turned in order to be invited to the next New Jeweler brunch. So in this part, we are going to discuss taxes. As you can see, everyone needs some tax help. It's a subject that a lot of people don't like to talk about, but we are making money in Premier, which means we're going to have to pay taxes. So we're going to talk about that now, but I just want to be sure before we start that we all know what the difference between income taxes and sales taxes are. State sales tax is collected on all products and services that are sold in each state. So when we sell a piece of jewelry, we are collecting state sales tax, and we are collecting that and we are sending it to Premier when we submit our order because they take care of filing all of the state sales taxes for us. And so if you're curious, the state sales tax for Miami-Dade County is 7%. For Broward County is 6%, and for Monroe County it is 7.5%. Now, that is state sales tax. Now, there's also income taxes. These are federal income taxes that we pay personally every year. That's when we meet with our accountant every year to file our federal income taxes. Now, Premier is going to provide us, each of us, with a 1099 for two things. The first thing they provide us with a 1099 for is our downline commission. So the 10% commission that we make on the people that we bring in for 3 levels deep. They're also going to provide us a 1099 for any free jewelry that we have earned. Yes, we do pay taxes on our free jewelry. However, it is your personal responsibility to report retail income. Retail income is the money you make selling jewelry. Now, the reason that Premier doesn't provide a 1099 for retail income is because they actually don't know how much money you make selling jewelry. All they know is that you order jewelry from them at a 50% cost. They don't know what you do with your 50%. So in other words, if you decided to give maybe, I don't know, your sister a 10% discount, Premier doesn't know that. If you decide to donate half of your profits towards an organization, maybe doing a fundraiser, Premier doesn't know that either. And so it's your responsibility to track it and report it. It's also your responsibility to track your expenses. And you really do need to be tracking your expenses because you're making retail income. You're going to have to pay taxes on that. So your expenses offset those taxes. And there are a variety of things that are expenses. That's one of the wonderful things about doing this business is that you have a lot of tax write-offs, as we call them. There are anything from obviously your sign-up fee to any jewelry samples that you purchased, to anything you purchase for your shows, any office supplies, mileage. I mean, the list goes on and on. As a matter of fact, on this same Purely Premier Angels website, if you click to the tax tab, you will find a very, very helpful tax information handout, which will categorize a lot of these categories for you, and you can keep track and keep all of your receipts organized by simply labeling the receipts as per the categories on this tax information sheet. And then you can just use a very simple, filing system to toss each one of those receipts into its appropriate folder. You want to make sure that you're doing this at least monthly so that at the end of the year, you don't have a big pile of receipts that you have no idea what they were for. So there are many ways that you can actually track, because again, you're going to keep all your receipts and you're going to file them, but you want to enter them somewhere. You want to track them somewhere. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. You can create your own Excel sheet. You can buy a program. We have a great program called Hood & House, which you can purchase as well. But if you don't have that, we have a wonderful, wonderful Excel worksheet right on this website. And so I'm going to walk you through that right now. We're just going to go to the website and you're going to scroll down to worksheets. Now, over here on taxes, that's where you find that tax information sheet. But under worksheets is where you're going to find the Jeweler Business Financials spreadsheet. And so you're just going to download that. And once it's downloaded, you can just open it up. And as you can see, it's just an Excel worksheet. Now, if you're familiar with Microsoft Excel, great. If you're not, don't worry. It's not a very complicated form to use. It's all preset for you, and it's already filled with formulas. So there's a lot of just plugging in, and a lot of things just auto-formulate themselves. So the first thing you're going to notice is that down here, you have several tabs. If you're not familiar with Excel, just pretend that this is a spiral notebook and it has dividers, and this is what they are. So the first one says tax report. This one, you don't enter anything in here. This is actually like a part of the form that you fill out when you file your taxes. And so as you go filling in information in these other tabs, it's going to automatically populate into these formulas. You see these formulas up here? We do not mess with that. But it's going to automatically pop in here. And so at the end of the year, you're just going to print out this and take this to your accountant. And it's already going to have the information in here, the numbers that your accountant needs to put into the actual form. And he's going to love you for that. So we don't do anything here. So let's go to the next tab, which is jewelry shows. This is where you would track your jewelry shows. This is a great way to do it. You can see that it has all different months for the entire year, and you're just going to basically, I'll go ahead and give you an example. You're just going to put in the date, and, we're going to do, Holly Hostess, let's call her, and then money in, and money in means all the money that you have collected from Premier. This is the easiest way to figure out what your profit is, including tax, including shipping and handling, just everything that you have collected. And just to keep it at a simple number, let's just say that you collected $1,000 even. Okay, that's never going to happen, but let's just say. Then the next tab is the money to Premier. Okay, so when you enter a show to Premier, at the end, it's going to tell you how much money you need to send them. So let's assume that, you need to send them $700, and this obviously will include sales tax and shipping and all that stuff. I'm just throwing in some random numbers here. And so now here is going to show your profit. Okay, because obviously if you've collected $1,000, whether it's in cash, checks, or credit cards, and this is how much you sent Premier, then this is how much you're left with, and that's your profit. And so you can just go ahead and continue doing that throughout the month, and it's always going to show you, it's going to keep a running tally right here of your profit for that month. Okay, and so you're going to do that for all the months. And here is really great too, because you can track your mileage here. You can track, by the way, your mileage is not just to and from shows. So this is a great place to track mileage, but I recommend that you purchase a mileage log book from Office Depot or Staples, or you can even download a free app. They have a bunch of them, because mileage is not just to and from shows. It's to and from training. It's to and from Office Depot to buy office supplies. It's to and from the post office. It's to and from the bank to deposit your cash. I mean, there's so much more mileage than just what's here. And then here is where you would track your jeweler's share. So, we pay $8 every time we submit a jewelry show. And then each gift card that we award a hostess is a $6 jeweler share. So let's say that, she got both of her bonuses, that hostess, both of those gift cards. Then 8 plus 6 plus 6 would be 20. So you would just enter 20 right here to keep track of this expense. Okay. And then your credit card, if you are accepting credit cards, you're charged a processing fee no matter who you use. This example says if you're using Square, but if you're using ProPay or any program that you're using, will give you a monthly report, and you can enter right here the total amount of the processing fees. And this is tracking your expenses right here. So you can do that for the whole entire year, okay? I'm just going to leave that there for right now so you can see how it gets plugged into other sheets. So this is for jewelry shows. Now we're going to go to the next tab, which is individual orders. So, if you just sold, a necklace to a customer, and I know it says hostess over here, but just pretend it says customer. Let's say her name is Cassie Customer. okay, and you collected $100 from her, and you send Premier, let's say $43, your profit is $57, okay? And so again, you're going to do the same thing for the whole year for all your individual orders, okay? So those are your jewelry shows and individual orders. You can also put your catalog shows into the jewelry show section if necessary. But the next tab is expenses. And so what I love about this is that this is where you're going to track your expenses. And you can't see unless you start actually typing in here. But let's go ahead and enter a date of an expense. And let's assume that this was Office Depot. Okay. I always like to put in parentheses, what it was. So, I don't know, envelopes. You don't have to do that. I just like to do that. Now, when you click to expense, you see this little drop down button right here. When you click on that, you can actually categorize it. Isn't that fantastic? That's my favorite part of this whole thing. So look at this, office supplies right here. And now let's say we spent $30. And then you're just going to do that on and on with all of your expenses. So now enter, the next tab is enter commissions. So if you have a downline, every month you're obviously going to get a check, or rather a direct deposit. So you're just going to want to enter that amount right here. Okay, whatever it may be. So it keeps track of that as well. Now the next two tabs are super fun. They are definitely my favorites. The next two tabs are graphs. So an income graph right here is going to show the income in a graph format of what you have made for retail and what you have made for your downline. You can see the little legend right here. And so obviously this is using the numbers that I entered right over here under jewelry shows, okay, and under commissions. And so throughout the year, you can see when your high months are and when your low months are. It's just a wonderful, wonderful visual. It does the same thing for expenses. So when we click on the next tab, you can see that we have spent so far $30 on office supplies and $20 on our jeweler share. And so again, just a wonderful visual to kind of let you see where your money is going and maybe need to make some adjustments at the end of the year. So the last tab are instructions. They're basically just kind of walking you through similar to what I just did and telling you where you can find your commission amounts and that kind of thing. So once these are filled out at the end of the year, if you go back over here to your tax report, see how it's already entered your profit, your individual order profit, your commissions, your total income, and it's already started tracking your expenses. Like I said, your accountant is going to love you. So make sure that you save this to your computer. It's a wonderful tool to use. Again, try to do this consistently. Don't wait until the end of the year to get this done. And I hope this really helps out with that.